Thanks for joining in today. We'll be talking through the CLD assignment, and today I decided to talk about low vaccination confidence in Florida. Kind of a controversial topic, especially something that's been discussed at my workplace. I definitely try to show a neutral standpoint, but I'm usually pro for it, but in person usually to avoid problems with people. I try to stay away. Anyway, our diagram is titled Low Vaccination Confidence in Florida. As you see here, we have three different loops. At the center of the diagram is our main variable, low vaccine confidence. Everything loops in and out of this. It's like the beating heart of the whole system. We're not just talking about one cause here, we're talking about several different environmental factors, seven different forces that one's acting upon another, feeding into a positive feedback cycle, all centers around this area. And different forces interact to keep confidence low or even make it worse over time. That's the overall result we're seeing here. Starting with the reinforcing loop, R1 on the right, this one connects low vaccine confidence to the perceived risk of vaccination. What we see here is a positive relationship, meaning they move in the same direction. When confidence in vaccines drop, people tend to see vaccines as riskier. Maybe they heard rumors, maybe they've seen headlines or something on social media, and then they don't trust the source. Whatever the reason, when people feel uncertain, the perceived risk goes up. Now here's where the loop kicks in. As perceived risk goes up, confidence drops even more, and that makes the perceived risk rise again. It goes in a cycle. This is the classic reinforcing loop, and it feeds itself. If we don't intervene, this loop can go spiral and dragging confidence lower and lower. Next, look at the reinforcing loop R2, which is at the bottom of the diagram. This one shows how financial barriers to vaccination connect back to confidence. When vaccines cost too much, or even when people just think they might cost too much, as a perception of it, it creates a barrier. That barrier makes people less likely to get vaccinated over time, and when fewer people get vaccinated, trust in the whole system starts to erode. Just like the first loop, this one is also reinforcing. The more financial pressure people feel, the lower their confidence becomes. And the lower confidence means that they're even less likely to invest their time or money in any sort of vaccination. Again, we see a cycle that can worsen without targeted support. Now let's move to the balancing loop B1, shown here on the left side. This one is different. It connects misinformation about vaccines with low vaccine confidence. But instead of the reinforcing the problem, this loop is trying to balance it in a way. And here's how. As we see here, vaccine confidence drops, misinformation increases, and that might sound weird, verbally to say that out loud, but, just to think about it. When people don't trust what they're hearing from official sources, they turn to alternative sources, which may not be reliable. As misinformation increases, people's confidence goes down, and that triggers a response. Ideally, public health efforts step in and try to balance out the misinformation with education, campaigns, and so on and so forth. And so even through the loop starts like to the others, the goal of this balancing loop is to slow down or reverse the drop in confidence. It's like the system's trying to correct itself without succeeding. Let me take a moment to explain minus signs and the plus signs you're seeing here between variables. A plus sign means both variables move in the same direction. If one increases, the other increases as well. If one decreases, the other one decreases, vice versa. A minus sign means they move in the opposite direction. So in the case of our balancing loop, as vaccine confidence decreases, misinformation increases. So with an inverse relation or a minus relation. But as more information can lead to lower confidence, that's the plus relation. These signs help us track how variables influence each other in this diagram. So we have two reinforcing loops, R1 and R2, that makes the problems worse over time. And that's our slippery slope. And if you don't step in and interrupt, then they just keep going. And then we have one balancing loop, B1, that tries to act like a brake. And it doesn't stop it completely ever, but it does slow it down and shifts it towards the direction that is the desired direction, where we boost things like education, affordability, and access. Looking at this diagram, the big takeaway is low vaccine confidence is not caused by a single event or idea. It's a part of a whole system of interactions. And that system behaves in ways we can predict, which is exactly why CLDs are so helpful. This assignment helped me realize that if we want to change vaccine confidence, we can't just address one singular factor. We need to think in terms of systems and addressing risk perception, misinformation, and the other factors like financial access, instead of targeting a single symptom, which usually is the case when I in the past have thought about a healthcare setting issue or something that I think is singular, but rather it's just moving parts of a bigger system. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. I hope this breakdown, I was able to break down all these different parts of this CLD.